Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 37th Rome Total War Brotherhood battle that I've put onto YouTube. Today, this battle was fought on Christmas Eve 2013, and I'm actually putting it onto YouTube Boxing Day 2013. So I think we could call this maybe the Christmas special. And I think when you watch this battle, you'll see that I think this is a very special battle, and I'll have you guessing who's going to win right up to the end. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Uther, who's called himself Puff Puff Pass in this game. You'll notice that we've got a bit of a few Christmassy names here. And then we've got Crimson Overlord, who's called himself Crimson Claws. And myself, Spartan Commander, and I've called myself Christmas Past in this game. So as you can see, it's a very Christmas themed game for our team anyway. So that's the Brotherhood team that I'm in today. As you can see, really filled with skilled players. But wait till you see the other team. Years and years of experience in the other team too. Should be great. At this stage of the battle, I thought you might like to look at my Carthage army. It's actually full of Sacred Band spearmen here, and these guys are really tough with good upgrades on. They are really tough spearmen, and also I've got some Balearic slingers too. If you notice, though, I've got no cavalry. This army is built solely to take on the Greek cities, and the Greek cities usually don't bring any cavalry, so it should be a pike on pike battle. And with this formation and the upgrades that I've got on these troops, this should be a great battle for you to watch. And here are the other team. We have Brotherhood member Pompey, who has bought the Rome Brutii faction. We have Scorpion King, who has bought the Julii faction. Scorpion King is a veteran RTW player. He's been playing right from the beginning of the game. He's a really great player. And we have Spider Pig, who has actually bought the Greek cities faction, and he's very good with Greek cities. So this should be a very interesting battle to watch here. So as you can see, that's a team full of really great players, and I think that this, I hope you will agree that this will be a great Christmas special battle. When you see the moves, the attacks, the defence, and the great manoeuvres of all the teams, I think you'll agree it'll be pretty good. As you can see here, the Spider Pig has bought 5 units of Cretan archers, and these could be the deciding factor in this game. Here you can see that Spider Pig, using his Greek cities faction, is trying to engage Uther's Roman troops. Those of you that have watched my other battle videos will know that pike generals would love Roman troops to attack them head on, and this is what Spider Pig's hoping. He's hoping that Uther will actually fight his pikemen head on, but Uther's using his experience and moving away from that situation. And if you notice, I'm moving my Carthage army over to actually face the Spartans, but I don't think he really wants to face me. He would prefer to face one of my Roman teammates. Here you can see that I've actually moved my force, my Carthage army, in front of the Greek cities army, actually asking for battle. But if you notice, every time I move, his Cretan archers are firing arrows, loads of arrows into my troops, and you can see the dead by the side of my formation. So what he's doing is moving his army about, hoping that I will follow, so he can then open fire with his archers, causing me loads of casualties here. It's kind of put me in a bit of a difficult position, really, because it's a good tactic by him. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move back there and hopefully not suffer too many casualties as I do this. Really I want to try and face him as much as I can and take the pressure off my teammates who don't want to fight Spartans there. As you can see, Crimson Overlord's moving forward on our right flank there, and they've decided to move back over to me. At this stage of the battle, you can see that Brotherhood member Crimson has put his SBQR force up, actually facing the Spartans there, trying to draw them onto his infantry. And if you notice that I've put my Carthage army actually through my teammate SBQR army to actually face the Spartans myself, so it'll be pike on pike. If you notice now that Crimson is moving his Roman infantry back behind my pikes to allow me to engage the Spartans head on. That's a good tactic by Crimson there. So he's kind of like got them to attack his force, some of his units to attack his army, and they've come onto my Sacred Band pikemen there. As you can see on our left here, Uther has moved his infantry forward there to engage Pompey's infantry, but also if you notice the Julii cavalry to his left is Scorpion King's cavalry, also ready to charge in there. If you notice here that the Spartan general has brought some Spartans out to my right flank, and also Scorpion King is bringing infantry out to my right. And instinctively, Crimson Overlord's taken his army to my right to protect my flank, allowing my pikemen to attack forward and try and take on as many of the Spartans as I can with my pikemen. But if you notice that the Spartan general now has moved several units in to engage Crimson infantry head on there. So Crimson will try and hold there and probably try and get some units round the flank and rear of those Spartans to get to their vulnerable points. Meanwhile, my if you notice there, my Sacred Band are advancing slowly into the flank, if you like, the centre flank of the enemy Spartans there. If you notice over to our left, Uther there is fighting not only Pompey's infantry but Scorpion King's cavalry coming in on him as well, so he's got quite a lot to do on our left flank. My slingers, my Balearic slingers there, will be firing slingshot into the enemy cavalry and troops. Here you can see Uther's bringing his cavalry over here to counter Scorpion King's cavalry there. He's charging straight into their cavalry, but if you noticed that Pompey's Brutii cavalry are now coming across as well. So Uther's now fighting all of Pompey's army, all of Pompey's cavalry, plus Scorpion King's cavalry over on our left. So Uther's got a lot to do there to try and hold. As you can see here, I'm advancing forward with a lot of my pike units in the centre, but also Scorpion King's got urban cohorts behind the Spartan units there that I'm attacking. So this is quite an interesting battle. Lots of developments happening all over the place here. If you notice there that Uther has turned his cavalry to face outwards there to protect my flank from any marauding enemy cavalry that might try charging in to go into the back of my pikemen. His infantry there are holding the best they can, but if you notice, Pompey's Brutii cavalry and Scorpion King's cavalry are doing a pincer cavalry attack on Uther's infantry there. And I dare say some of Uther's infantry is going to start to rout, as you can see. Uther's going to charge his cavalry in now to try and plug that gap. If you notice there, he's charged his cavalry in to try and plug the gap there, because that was a hell of a cavalry hit his infantry just took. So he's moved his cavalry in to try and plug the gap, but he is facing a massive force there. I just hope he'll be able to hold, because if he doesn't hold, our whole left flank is going to give. And I think that will probably that could probably mean the end of the battle for us. As you see, I'm still attacking aggressively in the centre there, moving my pike units forward, trying to break through the Spartans there. Crimson's doing well over on our right. Notice how he's taking units around the flank of the enemy forces there to get in behind them or attack them in the side. That's a great move by Crimson there. He's not just going to stand there and fight the Spartans head on, he's moving units around the flank, using his experience there. Over on our left, Uther's still managing to hold against those the massive odds there. If you notice, I've turned a pike unit out facing the enemy, just in case they try forcing their way through Uther to get into the rear of my pikemen. As you can see, it's the battle's really developing well now, and not necessarily very good for us. As I say, Crimson's doing well over on our right here, and Uther's doing well to hold as long as he has over on our left. I think the last of Uther's infantry has just been routed. So we've basically got most of Pompey's Brutii infantry, a Spartan unit, and Scorpion King's cavalry now are free to do whatever they want to us on the battlefield, with our left flank is just broken. So things are not looking very good for us at this stage.
This general is the perfect enemy.
As you can see now, they're using their skill and experience here to get behind my pikemen and maybe even charge into the rear of Crimson's infantry here with their cavalry. As you can see, that's what they're doing, straight into the back of Crimson's fighting infantry there, starting to rout a unit already. What I'm going to do here is pause the battle so we can take stock of exactly what's happened so far, and you can see the position. As you can see on our left, Uther, after a really brave stance, his army is now routed, and we've got all of Pompey's army there on our left coming through. Crimson Overlord's doing the best he can on our right, but as you see, a cavalry charge has just gone into the back of several of his units here. So how long he'll be able to hold, I don't know, on our right flank. And as you can see in the centre, I'm still trying to aggressively go forward, trying to smash the enemy units in front of me, but I've also turned units to face the rear. So if any of the enemy cavalry try charging into the rear of my pikemen, they'll be facing pikemen that are actually facing them. Uther's still got some of his cavalry left, and using his skill and experience, I would think he'll use that in a very effective way. But as you see, looking at the general picture of the battle, I'm sure you would agree that for our team it looks pretty bad, and I would think the other team now feel that it would only be a matter of time until they'll win this battle. Let's see what happens. See Scorpion King trying to throw some cavalry into the back of my pike units, but I've got my general facing outwards there, so he's going to go in, he's going to run into pikemen facing him there, which he doesn't want to do with his cavalry really. From what I can see now, what I need to do is to try and consolidate my my spearmen. What I mean by that is to keep them close and tight. I mustn't split them out. If I start sending off units here and there, they'll be isolated and taken out. So what I've decided to do is to keep my pike units tight and try and face them against the enemy, the attacking enemy there, and not to show them my back or flank at all. Over on the right, Crimson's doing really good and against the enemy that he's fighting there, and I just hope that he'll be able to hold, because if our right flank goes as well, then that really will be good night for our team. As you see now, I'm pulling units in tight now. My general I'm pulling in tight, and I'll face him backwards if you like, and I'm going to start attacking the Brutii infantry with my pikemen. What I don't want to do, I don't want to just sit in a defensive position which would allow Pompey to send units over to attack Crimson whenever he wanted to. What I want to do, I want to start being aggressive and attack Pompey's Brutii infantry to keep his infantry pinned against mine, so he can't really send too many off to attack my teammate Crimson. If you notice there, he's taking cavalry around the rear of my pikemen, chasing Uther's cavalry there, but also probably with an eye to charging into the back of any of my units that he can see that would be vulnerable to a cavalry hit in the rear. So also now what I'm going to do is spread some spear units out, facing outwards there, to stop any possible cavalry attack into the rear of my my pikemen. And you might not be able to see here, but I am pressing my pikemen forward here. I am trying to be really aggressive, as I said, to try and pin Pompey's infantry against mine, to stop him sending reinforcements over to or to try and stop him sending too many reinforcements over to fight Crimson over on our right. So as you can see at the moment, I would think that the odds against us are still very high here, and as I say, I would think that the enemy team would feel pretty confident here that the game will be theirs.
We're being attacked.
As I say, it's very tempting for a pike formation at this stage to just sit there and just wait for the enemy to attack. But if you do that, of course, you then leave your teammate to be attacked as they want. So that's why I'm aggressively going forward with my pike units to pin Pompey's army onto my infantry, to stop him sending too many reinforcements to attack Crimson on our right here. I thought I'd put in a bit of close camera fighting as well, so you can actually see the you can see my Balearic slingers have run out of slingshots, so I've charged them into the rear of Pompey's infantry here now, if you notice. Meanwhile, over on our right, can you see that Uther's still got some cavalry left there, and using his years of experience, he's charging into weakened enemy units, fighting enemy units to rout them, and that's great. He's just going in, smash, and then pulling back. That's a really good tactic there. So as you see, I'm advancing forward with a lot of my Carthage units there, trying to break through Pompey's infantry there, with my Balearic slingers attacking the rear of some of Pompey's Brutii units there, plus my pike units forcing their way forward into his units. I'm hoping to be able to rout some of his units. But if you notice, all the time those Greek Caesar-Cretan archers are firing hundreds of fire arrows into the back of my my attacking Carthage sacred band. So every time a volley of fire arrows hit my pikemen, it lowers their morale. So, and plus obviously cause casualties as well. So if you notice through the battle, you'll see that there's loads and loads of fire arrows going into the back of my sacred band, guys. But I'm still just going to keep advancing steadily, trying to kill as many of Pompey's infantry as I can to take the pressure off of Crimson on our right.
Units forward!
Meanwhile, over on our right, you can see that Crimson's doing extremely well. He's holding and he's routing some of the enemy forces as well. So he's actually doing extremely well over on our right. And also, if you notice, I haven't allowed any of the enemy units so far to get behind any of my pikemen. What I've done is I've become aggressive and attacking, but also I'm trying to cover the rear of my pikemen as well to make sure that their vulnerable area is not going to be hit by enemy troops here. So as I say, it's a dual purpose thing that I'm doing, trying to be aggressive, attacking forward, but also watching the rear of my pikemen as well with other units that are there. As you see over on the right, it looks to me like Crimson's doing really well. Only trouble is there's a couple of Spartan pike units that are attacking him now, which, as I say, pike units taking on Roman infantry is not very good, so I hope he'll be able to hold over on there. If you notice there, a Brutii infantry unit has got behind my pikemen, so what I'm doing, I'm going to turn my pikemen round to face them. So there you can see a close-up fight there of my pikemen just turned around and now they're fighting them now head on. But if you can notice, the fire arrows are still coming in onto my my infantry as they're fighting. There's a bit of a close-up there of the fighting between my sacred band and the urban cohorts there. And the fire arrows still coming in, still causing casualties and lowering morale of my troops. If you notice, Uther's Cav General has been running around the battlefield and he's been smashing into the back of enemy units, causing them to rout. And he's been doing really good with that cavalry general. But if you notice now, the general feel of the battle, the look of the battle is starting to change. From what looked like, I think we'd all agree, certain defeat for our team is somehow turning round into looking like we may well have a chance of winning this now. Over on our right there, if you notice, Uther just charged his Cav General in there and routed the last few units that were fighting against Crimson. So Crimson now has won over on the right flank and is bringing his forces over to help mine. If you notice, the Brutio General has just routed, so the morale of his troops will drop like a stone now. And I'm hoping that, well, yeah, it looks definitely like we've turned this battle around. And that old saying about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat is very much the case here, I think, because I'm sure that all of you watching this will have definitely thought to yourselves, our team has lost. And I think probably secretly we did as well. But somehow we've managed to turn this round, and it looks like we've managed to achieve a great victory here. And I think you would agree that this battle at Christmas really is what you could call a Christmas special. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'd just like to say really well played to everybody in the game. There's years and years of experience being shown on the battlefield here, and this was a really great game. Really well done to Uther for holding so long on our left, and really well done to Crimson managing to achieve victory over on the right there. And really well done to the other team too. If you look at the kill counts of the other team, you can see how how close the battle really was, and everybody played really well in this game, and that's why I think it's a really well worth showing you this battle and calling it a Christmas special, because that's what I feel it was. It was a Christmas special. So this is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed the battle, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And I'd just like to say a Happy New Year to all of you, and I hope you had a really great Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you in 2014, and bye for now.